Evening all, and welcome to episode 43 of Kerbalism. Now, last time I made some serious mistakes with how much fuel the pod here had, and we went to Minmus, came back, and didn't have enough fuel. Luckily though, the RCS managed to get us just enough to be grazing into the atmosphere. It's 59 kilometers there, so what I'm hoping is that this will be enough to slow us down after a couple of times round to get to somewhere near a circular orbit or near circular orbit, and then I'll use what's left of the monopropellant, because we've got a little bit left there, to boost our periaps back up so it's no longer in the atmosphere, so we're just orbiting around, and then the rescue craft which we have on the Kerbal station can come and refuel them. However, I need to make sure that they're going to get into the planet, into the atmosphere, slow down, not burn up and die, and do it enough to actually, well, achieve an orbit, or at least achieve a lower apoaps, because at the moment they're going right back out of Minmus. So this is a very good idea to try the automatic system on there. You see, I've got some of these things set up here. I don't know. There we go. When we enter the atmosphere, I want it to turn on the scrubber and pressure control, which will already be on anyway. But I want it to put away all the solar panels. I'm not sure why it's telling them to turn off, but that's what I've done. All the solar panels will be disabled when it enters the atmosphere, and when we go back into space, it will re-enable them. That way, these don't get blown off in the wind, because that's what atmospheres do. They're thick, windy, and cause all sorts of problems. So, let's descend down to Kerbal and see if we can survive bouncing off the atmosphere. Okay, so here we are at 79 kilometers and dropping. I'm going to point us retrograde based on the surface, because, well, we just want to make sure this is going first, because if we lose an engine, that's not too bad. If we lose the pod, that is. But right, here we go. As soon as we drop below 70, we'll be entering the atmosphere, and in theory, drift is called, the solar panels go away, and we can now skip through the atmosphere and see if our periaps comes down at all, which it looks like it is. And there we go. The script has run again. The solar panels will come back out because we've come out of the atmosphere, and we are down to 19 million from 43. That's pretty good. At that rate, it will only take us another, well, one orbit. So let's go around again, and I'll see you back here. So we're up here near the apoaps, and to get from Kerbal to here will normally be a quite easy process of time warping and coming forward. But once again, we've got a serious issue with Kerbal station. It's just constantly throwing out that it's got no power. As soon as I go to 1000 time warp, I get about 10 seconds and then that's it. No power. And even get warnings that Bill is dying on there, that he's starting to boil to death. So that capacitor clearly didn't happen, didn't work properly. I would guess Kerbalism probably doesn't register it properly when the vessel's not loaded. So I think my only real option with that is to send up a ton of batteries and see if I can do something about keeping it running for a long time. That's about all I can really think of. So, well, whilst this pod is on its way back down again, let's build ourselves a battery bank. And here she is in all her glory. Now, the first thing I've got to say is that batteries are expensive and heavy. This vessel weighs nearly 300 1,000 kilograms with the fuel on board to do with it. The actual batteries themselves weigh sort of nearly 150,000. They're a lot, and it cost 220,000 to launch this vessel. It was an expensive go, but according to the settings page to it, the info panel, sorry, it should be good for 27 days worth of electricity. So if after this is connected to the station we're still getting power problems, I might have to abandon the station and just only ever man it when we need it for something. There's no other option I can think of there. Yeah, until I unlock the RTGs or something to generate power. But yes, anyway, this is a manned pod at the top, as you can see. It's got the sort of the idea of turning the pod around to reattach the batteries, because I couldn't figure out any way to do it. The shielded docking ports, when you open them in the VAB, they can't have things attached to them. So you've got to launch it this way and then turn it around and attach it, much like the original moon landing. So yeah, but yeah, this is expensive, heavy, but hopefully will do the job. And after quite a few orbits, because I didn't launch at the right time, I didn't even look at where the station was when I launched the craft, but yeah, after a few orbits we have an encounter at 0.3 kilometers, so we should be 300 meters ish away. There she is. I'm just going to point us retrograde and wait for the closest approach, then fire that engine up and hopefully bring us to a stop somewhere near the station. So there we go, we are here. Let's do detach that there. No more battery power on probe. Right, well, she's got solar panels, so hopefully she'll be okay. But this is the one we are interested in. Retrograde or prograde. Yeah, prograde will do, because we've got RCS, so we can slow ourselves down using that. Now I'm not sure where I'm going to put this on there. I might put it where I place the capacitor. I think that might be an idea. But yeah, I may just pull that capacitor off the end. It's clearly not working. It probably does a wonderful job, but I just don't know whether Kerbalism is actually reading it correctly. So oh, we're actually under a lunar eclipse there. Look, aha. So. Right, I will keep the capacitor. I'll connect it somewhere else. Don't quite know where yet, but because it may become useful at some point. But for now, let's undock that, and we'll plug it in down here, shall we? Being very careful not to smash into my solar panels. I don't want to do that at all. And there we are, one capacitor successfully docked to the bottom. So, right, I'm approaching very gingerly with this one, because obviously there are solar panels there I don't want to break, for one. Two, this is heavy. Very, very heavy. And I do not want to be slamming into solar panels at a high speed, causing any sort of real damage. That would be bad for everyone involved, I think. Slow and steady wins the race. Definitely here. Right, let's see if the power of magnets can do its wonderful job here. I'm at a very acute angle there, so I'm not sure whether it will or not. Oh, in fact, I missed completely. Few small teething problems here, I think. It's purely just because of the mass of this. It's very, very big. Very heavy, so I'm going to have to try and get it as straight as I can to start with. And there we go. There we are. We have a dock. Now, I'm not really happy with that being there for the minute. Well, it's going to stay there for the minute, I should say, but I'm not happy with it being there. I probably... I'm not really sure. Let's turn the RCS back off. But anyway, we have power. We are in the dark. But we're going to be in the dark for 1 hour 12 minutes. Oh, I think it's getting confused because of that eclipse. But yeah, we're in the dark, but we're okay. Kindred and Milma have come to join Bill up here on the station. Let's move you around, shall we? Transfer crew, that one there. We'll transfer Milma over to the place there. And Kindred, you can go into the cupola on top. There we are. Right. Now, Milma is actually going to have to get out for the moment because we have some damage on the station. We've got... and I chose Milma rather than Bill because she doesn't have anything in her inventory, so therefore isn't heavy. But yes, there we go. Inspect. That's practically new. So what was it? There it is. It's damaged. That was yellow because Bill was in there. That's why. We got a solar panel on our little pod. These solar panels aren't exactly doing a wonderful job at the moment. We've had quite a few failures. So yeah, not really sure about it. Back in you go, Milma. Right. Okay, so now this has enough power to last forever and a day, I would hope. That's still set up and is apparently recharging. Not sure where. Oh yeah, it'd be recharging from these batteries here. That's why, because it's now got a new system on it. So let's go around to daylight. And our probe, we've lost control of. That's okay, I'll switch that in a minute. And, oh, that was quick. And yeah, there we go, back to daylight. And we now have... oh, it's still charging. Wow. 83,000 energy. Electric charge. So, yes, I think we are good. I was going to turn it down, but I think I'll leave that for a minute. I don't know if it's working or not when we're not here, but anyway, not important. We're here. I'm just going to let this charge up fully and see what happens at night time. And there we go, 83,000. So if I now accelerate time to 100 speed. And we'll go into the shadow of Kerbal and just see how much electric charge we use overnight. So there is sunrise, and we went down to about 78, I think it was. So we used 5,000-ish power. So yeah, I don't see any reason why this should complain ever again about electricity. But I'm not holding my breath. Let's and here we are back at the pod. She's not really gone far since launching that vessel and doing all that there, but it's because she's moving rather slowly up here. But let's warp up to 1,000 times speed and see how long we get before any errors occur with batteries and things. And we managed to get all the way back to Kerbal on 1,000 times time warp and not get an error about any battery power. So I would say that is a success. Excellent, excellent. That's all good. So right, now we need to do is hope that our apparatuses for this wonderful craft here, set to surface and retrograde again. Let's hope that our 19 million apparatus comes down to well, something a bit more manageable. Right, so we're down to 12,000. 12 million, sorry. So, right. These orbits are clearly working. And now I can time warp without worrying about constant whinging and moaning about power. I'm going to go round and round and round and round, and I shall be back when this doesn't say 12 million and preferably says something close to 250,000. Well, I think we're just about here, or in fact might be just a bit over. Yeah, our apparatus is down to 296 and dropping, and I'm going through another orbit here. Now I've looked at the numbers, I'm not sure why I've done another orbit, why I didn't just stop there, but I didn't. We're going through again, so well, let's see where this one takes us out, shall we? A little bit of time warp here. It's been a long process. I was counting them, I got to about 8 and then decided to go make a cup of coffee and come back when it was finished. So yeah, I'm not sure how many orbits that took, but I think it was on about 33 days to do it, and it's only been taking about 2 or 3 hours to do an orbit. So yeah, it's been a long one, but hopefully we can get back up to our apparatus and via the RCS use the rest of our monopropellant to push ourselves back up above the periaps again, above the atmosphere again, not above the periaps. We want to push our periaps above the atmosphere. That's what I'm trying to say there. I'm a little bit concerned that our apparatus is quite low now, so that's well, as long as it doesn't dip into the atmosphere, we're fine, because this doesn't have parachutes. Don't want this to come down. But right, here we go. 70 kilometers, and there we are. Right, the solar panels once again. We now want to warp around to here and point prograde. Okay, so let's enable our RCS and fire them up. And start to worry. Start to worry a lot. Yeah, this isn't going well. And we're out of monopropellant. And didn't get back out of the atmosphere. Okay, so that means that the urgency of this craft to be rescued is now a much higher priority. If I was to just leave it as it is, I actually think that if I was to leave it as it is on a different switch to the station, it would just go round and round because it doesn't actually have degrading orbits. But we'll ignore that fact and just assume that real world physics matters, and this has probably only got about half a dozen orbits left before she's coming down to well, not a fiery grave, should be okay. We've got a landing marker there, but She won't burn up in the atmosphere, but well, it ain't gonna bounce. I can tell you that much for sure. So, our rescue craft here is first and foremost going to need refueling, and then we're going to have to figure out exactly how much delta V is needed to get to where we're going. The pod isn't on an equatorial orbit, it's at a weird inclination, so we're definitely going to have to be burning to match that inclination, which is a bit of a problem there. I didn't put a winch on it. There's the little computer that I constantly forget on things, but yeah, right, so fuel tank is full, monopropellant tank is full, and we are going to undock. And remember, I don't have any batteries. Oh, blast. I could attach a capacitor to it, I suppose. It's only got the little charges inside the pod there, and that is dropping quickly because we're not in the sun. So yes, I think I'm going to undock this quickly. Come along, undock. There we are. Go to that one there. Turn our RCS and our SAS on. And quickly get over there before she goes away. Oh, ran into the station there. That's okay. That part of the station is pretty robust. This part here with these lovely fragile solar panels is not, so don't hit them. And I really got to hope the power of magnets works wonderful here, because oh, turn it off. Yes, there we go. Excellent. That all docked. Excellent. Well done. Well done. So let's drop our probe off. Quickly dock him. Again, without smashing into the solar panel, preferably. There we are. I've got to say, I've been doing a lot of this docking recently, and I am getting kind of used to how it works now. So yeah, this is good. So right, we've got a capacitor here that's now going to give us 90,000 electric charge, I think. So we should be good for that. Where's our... Still dropping there. I think I should set that to 100. Would that work? Yes, there we go. Let's set it to 90. There we go. On 100, I think this just... I'm not sure what happens with it, but it just seems to constantly drop and never come back up again. So anyway, right. We need to set our target as the pod and figure out an intercept. So I've just put in a maneuver node at our ascending node, I believe it's called, the point where our two planes of orbit match, and set our plane of influence to be the same as plane of influence. Sorry, set our angle of attack to be the same as theirs, and pulled out to bring the orbit up to roughly. And I'm not sure whether it's by genius or blind luck, but in one go we're going to get a 0.9 kilometer intercept. That's 900 meters away. That's bloody fantastic. I am extremely happy with that. It's going to be one burn, very easy. If I activate this engine, it's going to be a 7-minute burn, which yes, is a long time. This capacitor I think weighs a lot, so that makes sense, to be honest with you. But it's fine. Let's set this up here, and I will do this ginormous burn, and I'll be back with you when hopefully the pod is in our sights. And here we are on final approach. The 6-7 minute burn took a long time, a very long time, and the drawback to doing long burns with slow burning engines is that when you finish the burn, you're nowhere near where you expect it to be. I'm not sure whether that's just because, you know, things move differently at different speeds. Well, I know things move differently at different speeds, but what I mean is that with a bigger engine, you're putting all that effort into it in one go, and you're getting from point A to point B. With a slower engine, you're taking a long time to get from point A to point B, and by the time you get there, point B isn't where you expected it to be. It's moved. So that's probably the issue I'm having there. I'm explaining that very badly. There's a much better way to explain that, but I digress. Anyway, a long burn, many little burns in between, and finally we are here. We are approaching the pod. I'm going to burn the engine again and come to a complete standstill. So let's control from here. Point ourselves roughly at the target. There we are. Switch over to this one. Open the shield and do the same. Point ourselves roughly at the target. Let's make a target there. There we are. Doop-a-doop. And now, hopefully, I can do this dock. Oh dear, wrong button. I can do this dock before we actually get into the atmosphere, because I'd really like to avoid that if I can. Oh dear. Oh, paramagnets. Yes. Magnets. I don't know how they work, but I love them. Or that's a lie. I do kind of know how they work, but whatever. We're here. We are connected. So, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable this engine here. Shut down. I'm going to point prograde, making sure I am controlling from that there. And I'm going to up my Perry app, up to about 75. So there we are. We're no longer entering the atmosphere. Excellent. That is good. Right. The next thing I want to do is transfer fuel in. Sorry. Not that there's a great deal of it, to be honest with you. I used an awful lot burning to get here, so yeah. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all the monopropellant into these tanks here. And there we are, transferred. Now the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to also disable these three so they don't get used for fuel, because I'm going to use the monopropellant to do a lot of heavy lifting. I'm going to get it to do. I'm failing to see with the there they are. Under the landing gear, hidden away. I'm going to enable them all with the engine again, and that's all them enabled there. And yeah, I'm going to use the monopropellant in this tank to maneuver the craft, because we don't have much fuel, and I think to align this all up with the station is going to require a lot of fuel. We set that as our target, and at our descending node, bring our orbit down to where it needs to be. Oh, that's about level. There, bring it back in, of course, because we don't need to go out that far. Just to get on roughly the same orbit is 988 meters a second. We have 600. That is because obviously this is heavy. This whole section here is heavy. I could do away with the capacitor. And just rely on... I think I probably will. I will get rid of the capacitor. I'll drop all this off and just get rid of it. I'll remove it completely. Because that, although a wonderful thing, doesn't really do what I want it to do. I was going to bring it along for journeys, but it's heavy, so yeah. But first and foremost, I'm going to use all the monopellant up and try my absolute best to get this to where it needs to go using as little fuel as possible. So I will do that. Shut down that engine so I don't use no fuel. And yeah, we'll see how far we can get on the little monopellant that we have. All the monopellant has been used, and I never actually expected it to weigh that much. We've gained another 90 meters a second just out of emptying that tank. That's quite impressive, to be honest with you. So if we were to disconnect, say, this one here, undock, off, away you go, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm... Interestingly, my camera is pointed at this, but I'm not actually controlling that. That's strange. But yes, there we go. We disconnect that, get rid of all that dead weight that's there, and we got to 819 meters a second. So maybe I can keep the capacitor. I'm thinking it would be a good thing. It is essentially 90,000 electricity in that very small, tiny, flat disc. That's unbelievably good. But yeah, I think we'll keep it for the minute, and let's have a look at what manoeuvres we can do. Try and get ourselves actually somewhere near the station. So lots of tweaking, hooking, changing things. I've discovered that in almost 2 hours, which is about 3 orbits, I think, if I was to fire there and get things right, I would get a 500 meter intercept, but instead I'm getting a 12.9. Ah yes, I did have a 500 meter intercept there, and then I enabled this engine, forgetting to cut the thrust first, and it fired. So yes, I've used a little bit of fuel there, and now I'm going to have to retweak my manoeuvre. But I will get it. It's only 550-ish meters a second. We've got 810. It's 2 minute, 2 second burn, so that would leave us 50 seconds of fuel. Hopefully that's enough to slow us down and get us into an orbit level with it, and then the monoprop we've got left should be able to get us to the station. There's lots of shoulds, lots of hopefuls, lots of oh dear, I'm going to do a miracle, but well, crazier things have happened. 1 burn later and 1 minor correction, here we are, coming up on the station. I did already shoot past this once and have to fire the engine a bit late to stop us, so this is our second flyby. But hopefully this time round I'll be able to stop a bit closer to her. I like this. I don't know what mod does this, but I like it a lot. It tells me exactly when I should fire to stop where I need to stop. And there we are. We have 79 meters a second left, and we are pretty much at the station. So, now all I need to do is go over there and dock with her. And with a bit of luck, a little bit of wibbly wobbly around, let's doing that thing there. Hold steady now, come on, we're so close. Oh, this must be quite heavy, actually. It must be a thing. There we are. We have brought the science back. We have successfully rescued all the Kerbals. That was very close. That was very, very fine there. We still had a lot of monopropellant left, but the fuel was borderline. So, phew. Right. So, what we need to do is all the data has been changed to the lab. So, we need to grab a scientist, which would be Bob. And we should transfer them out. So, transfer queue. Jeb can go into there and have a rest. And Bob, unfortunately, you're going to be a bit of a workhorse. And, right. Let's enable the lab. Aha! Right. So, we've got to tick the boxes. That's why it's telling me there's nothing in the lab for it. So, okay, there we are. We are transferring the surface sample, or the goo, whilst landed at Mimus, into kilobits to be sent to base. So, success. Yes, another successful Kerbal rescue mission episode. But yeah, I'm actually happy with that. We've done everything that needed to be done, brought the people home, got the data, got the science. So hopefully, once this has all been transferred back to Kerbal, we can unlock some new and wonderful, wonderful things. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you again in the next one. And as always, have fun.